Hoffinger, the prosecutor, says, "Do you recognize this?" And Cohen says, "I do. It's the wire transfer document signed by Michael Cohen on October 27, 2016. Hoffinger said, "Did you wire $130,000 to Keith Davidson that next day?" "I did," said Cohen. "And is Mr. Davidson listed as the beneficiary of the wire on this form?" Cohen says, "Actually, his attorney-client trust account is." Hoffinger says, "Can we blow up the description for the purpose of the wire?" Hoffinger, "Was this a retainer?" "No, ma'am." Hoffinger, "What was this for?" "In order to pay Stormy Daniels to execute the non-disclosure agreement and to obtain her story, her life rights." Hoffinger, "This was not truthful, is that right?" Cohen, "Correct." They then introduce another exhibit, the email to Michael Cohen from Keith Davidson. "I confirm that I will work in good faith and that no funds shall be, and it's only after you receive the FedEx will I disperse. Fair?" Email to Cohen from Keith Davidson. "I wanted to make sure I received the agreement." Hoffinger, "Have you wired that money? Did you receive the final NDA signed by Stormy Daniels?" Cohen, "I did." Hoffinger, "Did you let Mr. Trump know when you received it?" "Immediately," says Cohen. Cohen, "So that he would know the matter, the task he gave to me was finished, accomplished, and done. And also taking credit for myself, so he knew that I had done it, because that was important."
And that's important because Michael Cohen was always looking for a pat on the back, a pat on the head, if you will, from Donald Trump. He wanted to make him happy. He was very much like a puppy dog in that way. "Look what I've done for you. I've done a good job. See me. Thank me for this." And so for him to say, I made this payment, I made this bad thing go away, I think it's plausible, knowing Michael Cohen, that he would go directly to Donald Trump and tell him, "Hey, listen, I did a good thing. I helped you here."
I think this corroborates a key piece of the story that we actually haven't heard yet, which is Donald Trump directly knew. Till now, it's been indirect. This is a key corroboration. Donald Trump knew what these payments were for. Explosive piece of evidence that came in this morning. I think there's still one piece missing, and it's a crucial piece, which is that Donald Trump knew that they were going to cover up the payments within the records.
Adam, as they go on, he says, "Did Mr. Trump sign this agreement anywhere?" asks the prosecutor, Hoffinger. Cohen says, "No." "Why not?" says Hoffinger. "He was running for president of the United States of America, and this would not have been to his benefit to do so." "Who signed on his behalf?" Hoffinger, "I did." Initials for DD, David Dennison, which was the pseudonym. So this is everybody being aware, at least according to Michael Cohen's testimony, as you point out, that it was a cover-up.
His testimony is that everybody knew that they were covering up her story. And the other really important piece that came out this morning is everyone knew they were covering up her story because of the election. It wasn't just that they wanted to make her to go away. It was they wanted to do this right before the election on the heels of the Access Hollywood tape. This was crucial. But yet there's still one piece missing, I think.
So where do you need to go to fill in that crucial piece?
I think they need to get testimony from Cohen that the defendant, Donald Trump, directed him to cover it up in the internal records. Stepping back, that's what's being charged here. This is a records case, that the internal records were falsified, that the invoices were falsified. That we need to hear that piece from Donald.
Yeah, because you sort of get the intensity, right? All these phone calls and all these conversations, and how are we going to get this done? And can we possibly do some kind of deal that doesn't involve cash? You feel the intensity of it, but you don't feel the final point.
Here is the secret agreement on the side letter. "Who signed it?" she asks. Cohen says, "Stephanie Clifford," which is Stormy Daniels, you know, "Keith Davidson, and myself." "Who signed the agreement?" "Stephanie Clifford for Peggy Peterson, and myself for Central Consultants, LLC, and I signed for David Dennison," the phony names. Hoffinger, "You said you spoke to Donald Trump about this agreement, the call between Michael Cohen and Donald Trump. 5 minutes and 16 seconds on October 28th at 11:48. The matter is now completely under control and locked down with the NDA."
Lisa Rubin has some interesting analysis. She's saying that prosecutor Hoffinger has taken Michael Cohen through the banking documents and the negotiation, the execution of the NDA in excruciating detail, as we've been watching for many hours now. We've seen almost every one of these documents before, she says, from other witnesses, including Gary Farrow and Keith Davidson. Also, a lot of corroboration of testimony from David Pecker. But she argues that seeing this history juxtaposed against Cohen's phone, text, and email records, especially with respect to Weisselberg and Trump, provides a new gloss on these transactions, and the one that prosecutors needed most. Through Cohen's retelling, we now see Trump and Weisselberg interspersed in these now familiar events and unquestionably involved, provided Cohen's testimony is credible. That's what we were talking about a little bit earlier about circumstantial evidence. As all of this stuff is going on, you see the phone records between Donald Trump and Michael Cohen. And I guess if you're the prosecution, you're going to argue, how could they not be talking about this thing that was occupying so much of Michael Cohen and Keith Davidson and David Pecker, so much of their attention during the campaign? How could it have been about anything else?
What do you think they were talking about? You know, there's so much secrecy surrounding this. The names in the NDA are secret. There's a side letter. The shell company, it's secret. The location where the checks were sent to Trump's body man, not to the White House, they were sent to a secret location and brought to him. All of this secrecy surrounding this agreement. And at the end of the day, when the prosecution goes in front of the jury, they're going to say, do you not think they also tried? Mr. Trump didn't try to keep this secret on the books and records of the Trump Organization. All of a sudden, he decided to be honest about what this was. This was part of a very secret thing that was being used to cover up something that didn't want to come out right before the election. And so those pieces all corroborate the fact that Donald Trump was the one who directed the false business entries. And so that is a circumstantial piece of the case. Now we're getting it directly from Mr. Cohen's mouth that they had conversations about it. He was operating at his direction. This testimony that not only was a micromanager, but Michael Cohen wanted that attaboy. That is what he worked and lived for. He testified at the beginning that he felt on top of the world when Donald Trump would give him a pat on the back. When those things came in from the Inquirer, those stories, he would be fantastic. That was great. And so that is what Michael Cohen lived and breathed for, was that pat on the back from Donald Trump. And so all of the secrecy surrounding that extends to him ordering these business records to be falsified.
So